Cool. Hello world, this is the concept demo team here for another weekly experiments on the Mojo phenomenon, how you track it. We'll be following our normal three-act structure, with Act 1 being the fundamentals, where we associate the lexicon of physiological cue terminology that you need to follow the Mojo phenomenon with real-life samples that represent it, making that conceptual to aesthetic connection that's so important in the Mojo reading process. And we usually use collaging for that purpose. And today we're doing?
We are doing the 90s TV show pop culture timeline, and we are starting off with Beavis and Butthead.
Excellent. So we did include a few cartoons in there if the people who do the voice acting are well known enough, but generally we did not. Act 2 will be the intermediate portion, where we will get into the weekly sample, which is the main portion of the proof of concept, where each of the members of the team attempted to come up with the answers to the samples put forward in blind test conditions, doing their own work, and now we're going to see what the consensus of opinion accuracy is. These samples are the most challenging. We'll tend to spend some time doing some review on. And then Act 3 is the advanced portion. That's when we'll do a live read, and you can see the chatter that we have amongst ourselves as we're doing it. It's the same kind of mental chatter you'll have when you're doing a read on your own. These samples for the weekly quiz and for the live read came from Multirational?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so we'll do introductions and get into it. I am Naiji Coach.
I am Shiny Shiley.
I'm Zaini Adimus.
I'm Naiji Mitchell.
And Naiji Ben.
And I'm Nijai Infiniti.
Take it away, Jelly.
Alright, so I will screen share with you guys the 90s culture timeline. And we are starting off with this and Alright. Okay, so as usual, Coach will start us off and we'll go round robin, and for the protocol of calling out the mojos for each one of the characters, for the first round, we'll say a cue with that mojo, and then any new time or any time mojo appears for the first time, we will also call out a cue for that. Coach?
Yep. Beavis and Butthead. Animated MTV series about two teenage heavy metal music bands who occasionally do idiotic things because they are bored. For them, everything is cool or sucks. Beavis and Butthead lives revolve around three simple things. Barely attending school, which sucks. They do nothing, they learn squat, they know diddly, and they hate the teachers. And amazingly, they manage to avoid being thrown out. Also, try to score with chicks, something we know they'll never achieve. Watching TV, lots of TV. If something in the real world doesn't relate to what they know from TV, it sucks. They especially enjoy reviewing music videos or just commenting inanely on them. The video contains heavy rock, scantily clad babes, and anti-authority figures. It's cool. Otherwise, it sucks.
Naiji might judge as Beavis. As a Naiji, Mike Judge will have G, aware mouth, and aware emoting as his second power, which means that he will have the emotive expression will go above the midline of the face, and you see here some fine flexations in the cheek, even though he's not fully emotively expressing, but it doesn't ever go above the brim line of the face and into the eyes, because Nai is his first power, so he'll have that cunning hunter look going on while doing his G-aware expressions.
Naiji, Mike Judge, as Butthead. Alright, so Naiji or Nai Alpha. So you're going to see a very piercing hooded gaze from them. The eyes are going to pop first, since Nai is first. But yeah, it's going to come with that penetrating cunningness.
Okay, my so-called life. 15-year-old girl and her trials and tribulations of being a teenager and dealing with her friends, guys, parents, and school.
Nizai Claire Danes. Nizai have Zai as their tandem power, which gives off of the gives off the distinct signal of unflappability. It is a logic-based discernment power. And what you'll see is that because she is logic-based, because she has Zai as her canon power, you'll see that her Jiameng does not go above the midline of the face. It kind of goes to an unflappable stop in the cheeks.
Nice.
Jaini Bess Armstrong as Patty Chase. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so Jai is basically unaware. It causes an unaware mouth when they resonate with something, and so if you notice the one on the left, it has a bit of there's a bit of an unaware look in the way that she's responding, like she's responding to something that's being told to her, and you can see that. And another aspect of Jai and a Jaini is that the Jai actually flexes up all the way above the brim line of the eyes, all the way up, and you could see this I can't think of the word. I'll skip the word. Basically, it just flexes all the way up, and you could see the Jai going all the way up her face.
It's Coach.
Gotcha.
By Unifield. Sorry.
Jackie Wilson Cruz.
Jaini Devin Gummersall.
Nijai AJ Langer.
That's a new
Is she a new one? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. All right, so the Nijai have me first. That's a objective perception power. So you're going to see momentum drinking in when on the perk up cues. So looking at the right picture, you can see her doing these Nijai peekaboo eyes, like pop drinking in, and you can see the soft approachable energy of a Nijai doing that maneuver.
Naiji Gerlito. Since I don't really go last time, should I?
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
I just wondering. Okay, 'cause I know he's Naiji aren't new, but nonetheless. Okay, so as in Naiji, they have Zai offside. I think that's been done yet. So they have chili neutralizing when going in and stone-faced cheeks to neutralize the mode of expression on their face, but it has a kind of altered, becalmed look to it as compared to the more at-home sort of enjoyable chilliness of like a ad serve, like an ease eye that we've seen. So you can especially see that on the one on the right. He's doing stone face there, and he looks more tense.
Yeah.
Net neutral.
Nice.
Jaini, Devin Odessa?
Yes. Lisa Wilhoit is pending.
Jinai Tom Irwin. Is that him?
That is me.
All right, so as a Jinai, this is a lead values-based mojo, so the emoting will go easily into the face, all the way up, and you can see this in both photos where he actually, on the one on the left, he's doing a good amount of Zai, and the one on the right, he's got a fair amount of like Nai, far away gazing going on. So there's not a lot of emotive energy coming from the mouth area, but still, it comes up into the cheeks. You can see the fine movement there, and the eyes have the tone. The tone you can see in the mouth, as subtle as it is, you can see it in the eyes. There's a matching there. And that's a big part of why they have the kind of unifield face that they do.
Gargoyles. A clan of heroic night creatures pledged to protect modern New York City as they did in Scotland long ago. In the Dark Ages, there was a race of heroic warrior monsters known as gargoyles. These creatures existed as stone in the day, but become flesh and blood at night. One Scottish clan made an alliance with humans to help protect the castle by night if the humans would protect their stone forms by day. The uneasy alliance was shattered when human prejudice provoked a betrayal that allowed the castle to be sacked and most of the resident clan destroyed, leaving only 6 adult survivors and a rookery of unhatched eggs. A further misunderstanding during the clan's retaliation of the invaders and rescue of their hostages left the clan frozen in stone by a magic spell that would only be broken when the castle rises above the clouds. For 1,000 years, the castle lay abandoned and the clan condemned by this curse. In 1994, a wealthy multi-billionaire named David Xanatos bought the castle and transported the whole structure to Manhattan, where he placed it on top of the eerie building which he owned. It is high enough to be above the clouds, thus the conditions of the spell were met and the gargoyles were revived. Now this clan must adjust to its new age and gain friends like Detective Elisa Massa, who reveals that Xanatos revived them to exploit them for his unscrupulous ends. This is coupled by the fact that another gargoyle comrade, Demona, is alive from their age and is now an insane renegade bent on the extermination of humanity. Rebelling against them, the clan abandoned the castle and pledged to protect New York like they protected the castle in the past.
Well done,
Dun,
Charlie.
dun, dun.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Nizi Keith David as Goliath.
That is new.
Alright, so the Nizi are logic based. So, well, all we have to work with is one on the left, so let's look at the one on the left. You can see as he's resonating on the right, the shy and aware emotive expression. It goes just under the cheeks, but you can see the cheeks are still hardened, have that anvil hardness to them. So, that's what makes them logic based.
One on the right does look like him.
Yeah,
Very
I did
much
not see that.
so.
I mean,
Very much so.
fairly faithful. It's a nice blue creature. So G.Vi, Sally Richardson Whitfield as Elisa Naza. So G.Vi's probably new, I would think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as a G.Vi, she has a knee offside, so her eyes, they have like a prepared, and particularly with G, they're like watching you kind of quality. They're not momentum drinking in, but they do have this additional knee sort of buoyant brightness to them, sort of laughing quality that's enjoying drinking in the abstractions. But that is modulation.
Shiny, Jeff Bennett.
Nizi Frank Welker as Bronx.
Sure.
Nizi, Edward Asner.
Oh.
It's like it too.
Jai, Tom Adcox Fernandez.
Oh wow! I love seeing the fiction of
Oh, yes. Shiny Bill Fagerbach as Broadway.
G9, Jonathan Frakes. Very faithful representation.
They even made it look like him too.
Yeah.
They all do. I've not seen one that doesn't look.
I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ben, you're up.
Oh, Nizi Marina Curtis.
Jaini Bridget Bacco as Angela. Or Bacco.
Is it me? Oh, sweet. Lonesome Dove, the Outlaw Year. The year is 1880. Curtis Wells, the locale Lonesome Dove, the Outlaw Years, is now a boom town on the Montana frontier. When neighboring Sweetwater was left in ashes by a prairie fire, its whores and desperados took up residence in Curtis Wells, changing its character forever. Newt Call has come back to the town after living the past 2 years on the trail as a bounty hunter. Call is a man whose past has left its scars. Having left Curtis Wells a few nights after the explosion which killed his beloved Hannah, Call went on a downward spiral, aimless and soulless, eventually hitting bottom. Coming back to town has reopened some of those old wounds for Call. not the least of which is his unresolved business with Clay Mosby, the man who coveted his wife before the fire took her. Mosby has made Curtis Wells his personal dominion. Beyond his charming, roguish facade, he is a ruthless businessman, swift and severe with those who cross him, ready to shape the town his own dark vision. Lonesome Dove, the outlaw's years, bringing to life all the grit, romance, and excitement of the West, an untamed world where anything is possible. Toss now. Naiji versus Yunai.
Naiji Scott Barstow as Newt Call.
Gina Eric McCormick.
Slick Swagger.
Genai Paul Johansson.
Oh, Johnny Kelly Rowan.
Jaime Christiane Hurt.
Jaime Paul Lamont.
Knee-side Tracy Scoggins.
Shiny Frank C. Turner.
Oh,
wow.
Who's that lucky person?
Babylon 5.
Nice.
A space station in neutral territory is the focus of a unique 5-year saga. In the year 2258, it is 10 years after the Earth-Minbari War. Commander Sinclair takes command of a giant 5-mile-long cylindrical space station orbiting a planet in neutral space. At a crossroads of interstellar commerce and diplomacy, Commander Sinclair, second season Captain Sheridan, must try to establish peace and prosperity between various interstellar empires, all the while fighting forces from within the Earth Alliance. It is a precarious command, particularly given that sabotage led to the destruction of the Babylon stations 1, 2, and 3 and 4 vanished without a trace. Without trace.
Oh,
Gina Jerry Doyle.
An abstract art, Gina.
Yes.
And it continues here.
Okay.
Oh no.
Let's go reset here. It's just
Time out.
Why does it do that? Like, what is exactly happening? Has anyone ever figured that out?
I think
Mine does that too.
Well,
Does yours?
Yeah. Well,
No time.
when we
No.
used to quiz.
Like when I'm big collages, whenever it's a big collage, it like decays if you leave it open for too
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. We're gonna get a new video card and see if that helps the issue.
The file's just too big for it to
Yeah,
maintain.
Yeah.
It's not a memory issue.
Yeah. I hope not either.
But I don't have memory issues on my computer. I mean, I have tons of memory of
So
left
weird
over.
that it
Stuff
hit the
happens.
threshold.
We
Like,
have memory.
No.
Like processing.
it just happens
I would
like
say.
at
Yeah.
we're close.
It may just be that like Word files aren't designed for this kind of thing.
We're like holding so many pictures.
Yeah, because come
Just
to
take a lot of data.
on other operating systems.
Okay. So, who's got?
Mike.
Yeah. Jaime Mira Furlan as Delenn.
Shinai, Richard Biggs.
Nijai Bill Mummy.
Nizai Stephen First.
Nizi Andreas Katsulas. Not sure I pronounced that right.
Nizai Peter Jurassic. Jurassic.
Naiji Bruce Boxleitner.
Jaime Claudia Christian.
Shiny Jeff Conway.
Jaime Patricia Tolman.
Niji Jason Carter.
Ellen. Ellen Morgan is a neurotic bookstore owner who deals with life through comedy and extensive rambling. Ellen Morgan is a neurotic 30-something bookstore employee who tries to get by life in dealing with her various friends, who include the outgoing redhead Paige, insecure photographer Adam, her unsure of himself cousin Spence, coffee shop guy Joe Farrell, the critical and obnoxious Audrey. The most challenging of all, Ellen also has to contend being around her annoying and overbearing parents, Lois and Harold.
Jaime Ellen DeGeneres as Ellen.
Shiny David Anthony Higgins.
Nizy Jolie Fisher.
Nizy Glee Lewis.
Nicey Jeremy Piven.
New York undercover. Drugs, robbery, corruption, rape, murder. Cops versus criminals. The undercover war has started. Welcome to New York City. Eddie Torres and J.C. Williams are two detectives of the 4th Precinct of New York City. In their job, they fight against the worst of the society infiltrated, like the bandits who try to stop. Their honesty and good-making shocks against the lawless world of the criminals and the lawyers who serve to the own criminals. In their work, they have the help of their boss, L.T. Virginia Cooper, a hard-character woman who knows the streets like no one, that she cares that their agents don't use illegal ways in their cases. At the same time that she watches other couple of good agents, Tommy McNamara and Nina Morneau, who oftentimes they work with Torres and Williams, all together try to clean the streets of the criminal plague that invade the city.
Jean I. Malik Yoba as Detective James J.C. Williams.
Gina Michael DiLorenzo.
Nizy Patty Darbanville.
Jivi Lauren Velez.
Pending, well, George Gore II is pending.
Man, 3 in a row. Party of 5. 5 siblings are left to find their own way in the world when their parents are killed by a drunk driver. The series revolves around the struggles of raising each other and the struggles of life in general.
Jean I. Scott Wolf as Bailey Salinger.
Najee Matthew Fox.
Vijay Neff Campbell as Julia Salinger.
Vijay is new, I believe.
Oh, that is new. Thank you. Good catch. So as a Vijay, she will have B as her first power, and that will give her her eyes a quality of drinking in a very clear-eyed sort of way, like almost like a camera lens, taking pictures and capturing that sensory experience. So very receptive look, and their eyes have this laser eye quality.
Vijay Lacey Shaver.
Jaini Paula DeVich. Say that?
Yeah, that sounds like.
Vijay Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jean I. Jeremy London.
Gina I. Scott Grimes.
Andrew Cavano is pending.
Stephen Cavarno is pending.
Friends. When Monica's high school friend, Rachel, re-enters her life, she sets off on a series of humorous and entertaining events involving Monica's brother, Ross, her ex-roommate, Phoebe, and her next-door neighbors, Chandler and Joey. A comedy series based in Manhattan about 6 young friends who struggle to find success and happiness in life. But it is never that straightforward, is it?
They had the most awesomest apartment ever.
For people who are struggling.
Yeah, true.
That was part of the apartment.
Leave it.
Ben.
Oh, yeah, Nijai, Jennifer Aniston.
Rachel.
Naiji Courtney Cox.
Shiny Lisa Kudrow.
Gina and Matt LeBlanc as Joey. How you doing?
I see Matthew Perry as Chandler.
Oh my god. Mitchell.
Nizy David Schwimmer.
Shiny, James Michael Tyler.
Nizy Elliott Gould.
Nizy Paul Rudd.
Nizy Maggie Wheeler.
Nizy Tom Selleck.
Naiji.
Oh, Naiji, yeah, that's the one.
Shiny Giovanni Ribisi.
You want to stop here?
Yep, sounds good. All right. We'll now move on to Act 2, which are the weekly quiz samples. Samples came from Multi-Rational, so we will start with you, Infinity, and work back to Jylene. Jylene will call out.
Again,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, starting with Ben.
Ben.
Oh,
So,
I'm starting first?
yes, you are.
Okay.
A bold new experience.
Yes.
The earlier part of this lineup is in flux right now, so you're holding the line, sir.
Hold the line.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good.
First of the requisite samples is Bashir. I'm just gonna take a stab at it. Bashir Boumassa, world's best gamer and social activist. What did you say for him?
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm joking. Just joking. I guess Naiji.
I said Nishi as well.
Naiji.
I said Naiji.
He is Najee.
Okay.
I
Next,
am the new meta.
next up, thematic Bruce, YouTuber and virtual reality enthusiast and developer. How did you meet him? Ben?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I guess Naiji on him.
Awesome.
I said Nishi as well.
Naiji.
I said Naiji on him.
He's Najee.
Okay.
Right.
I was wondering because he had longer digits. So I was like,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
but I didn't see
Give me
Tower-
Thunderfoot,
Tower
actually. Yeah.
Okay, next up, James Rhyme, mathematician and YouTuber. What did you say, Ben? For him?
And he was really tough for me. I speculated on Nizai for a while, but I guess not Zaini.
I guess Zaini as well.
I said Zaini.
I went Naiji, but I wasn't sure about him.
Exciting.
Oh, okay,
Hey.
yeah.
I'm curious.
I was between that
Did
one.
anyone get a riff on him?
I did.
It reminded me so much of one of my friends.
Okay.
He actually gave me what was the name of that guy that made the Blair video? that one.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
You gave me weird.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the pod layers bullshit video or the?
I didn't
Oh
get
yeah,
that.
that kind of riffs.
Yeah.
Like his mouth. Yeah.
You gave me though for some reason. Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
See
yeah,
that?
I have a friend who looks so much like him. It's so scary.
All right, who's up next?
Okay, up next, Phil Moriarty, a physicist. What'd you say for him, Ben?
I guess Nijai and him.
I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
He's Najee.
Yay. Last of the records, Richard Linklater, film director, directed movies like Waking Life. What did you say, Ben?
I guess Naiji.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai for him.
I said Naiji.
He's Nisha.
Out of five.
Between,
Yeah, all right.
man. Nice.
That's her.
Yeah.
Well done. Optionals. First is the optionals. Simon Lane, YouTuber, and Yachtcast.
I guess Nijai.
So did I.
I'm out on all these.
I'm out on this one.
He's Nisha.
Andy Mueller-Magen, German hacker, part of the Computer Chaos Club. What would you pick for him?
I didn't guess on this one.
Okay.
I had a tough time with him, but I said Nishai.
I passed on him.
He was tough. He was a toughie. We might take a look at him if we have a chance because he was interesting. I believe that's an IC.
Oh, I'm so mad at myself. I knew it.
Okay, next one is Ted Nelson, information technologist, philosopher, and sociologist, in hypertext.
I didn't guess on this one either.
Naiji, I said.
I guess Naiji.
He was tough.
Oh,
He was tough.
darn it.
I believe this is a Bringing the Thunder Zaini.
Ooh,
Really?
yeah.
Dude was hardcore.
Yeah, it was.
I am a futurist. The future is bleak. I'm done.
My God. Henry Reich, YouTuber from Minute Physics. Would you say,
I guess Naiji.
So did I.
did I?
He's IG.
Okay. Last one, Brady Heron, an independent YouTube video journalist. What'd you say for him then?
I didn't guess on this one.
I said Nishai.
I said Naiji.
He's Nisha.
Nice.
All right.
And tight.
So,
Wait.
I would love to take a look at that hacker and the Zaini.
which one? The Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew it was Z and Jai, and I was like between the Nijez, and I'm like, mostly you don't see too many Nijez in these like hacking activism
No,
kind of stuff. But I've seen
Right.
that. I was seeing Hunter, so I'm like, I couldn't get putting myself to guess Nice though.
Yeah, he'd be good to take a look at. But let's see if there's any others in the breakfast.
I think Jillian and I got Richard Linklater wrong.
Yeah, he was.
So that'd be a good one to look
I
at.
was between the Nijez on him. I wouldn't mind with you.
And just for my own reference, what mojo was he?
Nijai.
Nijai, okay.
First of all, just out of curiosity, did you go to the movies a lot as a kid? And if you did, were there any films or filmmakers that really meant a lot to you?
Oh, I was in a small town in East Texas. I don't really. I mean, it was
He had
great.
more calming energy. That's kind of why I didn't guess Naiji. But he does have good articulation,
Yeah.
obviously.
I love movies.
Now looking back
But
at
I can't
it,
explain
like
to
it
anyone
is more
how
calming.
far
I
away
didn't really see
the
the
idea of making a
satisfaction.
movie yourself
Any of
was,
this
but
little
from, like,
slower
consciousness,
energy, being more
What
articulation. His eyes seem quite bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
what were the major guesses?
The Nijez.
Also-
Yeah, Ishai and Naiji.
also
Which is not surprising because he's the director.
Makes complete sense.
Movies were a
I've
huge
seen
part of
some of the
it. I
voting
loved them, but they
process.
never.
Yeah, that's true. The
Yeah.
emoting in the pauses, that's a really good one.
Artistic medium, means of expression. They were just these things.
He reminds me, actually,
Hollywood.
he reminds me of some of the the
I
rockers
literally lived
as they're like talking about, yeah, we used to party.
One theater,
Yeah.
the Cine, and a new film would open every Friday, one a week. It was, whatever the distribution world
Yeah, very calming.
was here.
Yeah.
Films would eventually come to my little town, and you might have heard about them.
Yeah, like calming without being be-calmed, like you would see with
And sometimes it was great.
Naiji.
Just went to the show, we called it. Right? So I had this kind of idyllic, even
Yeah,
though
I
it was
see
the
that.
Like
same,
kind of natural state calming.
Yeah.
when people think of the American movie upbringing, so it was all kind of great. So I just loved movies, but it wasn't. I mean, at some point when I was about fifth grade, I realized I was sort of a writer. I was writing stories. I thought that was kind of my creative outlet. It was a long time before those two things merged, and I thought, I could look at that.
I see a lot of Jai,
That's
just a lot of
Yeah.
authentic.
the
Telling the story.
that films did come from a director, or that there
Yeah.
was this process behind it.
There's some Gumby.
there then?
Mhm.
Well, it was a slow kind of becoming aware. I think, I think in high school, I remember seeing Annie Hall, and I had some idea who Woody Allen was as a performer. But he also wrote and directed that movie that I love so much. That was like my favorite movie of that year, more than Star Wars, more than anything else. I was like, wow, it's really good. And then
He's a cool guy.
like weird stuff I saw. Like,
He is.
it's
Like started off, totally like was start off not as a director, he was doing something else or something, and then he mentioned he was like a fan of Alfred Hitchcock or something when he was younger. That was actually one of the things that made me look for Nijai.
Ah,
Now film can do that, Then I started to, something clicked in there.
Are you good with him? Would you like to see a different video?
Films a little bit.
I'm good.
Then I realized that I had stories in my head like visual.
All right.
I didn't do that.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Is there anything else in the requisites? No, really?
No.
I think there's pretty strong quizzes tonight.
Yeah.
Nice guys.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that hacker, German hacker.
Yeah, that's a new interesting example. I actually feel good that he's a Nice, even though I didn't get it right, because like it.
World makes sense.
Yeah.
I see the Nazi making a presence. Like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have many Nice, and it just fits, and it's like, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, when I saw him, there was just so many Nazi actors he riffed me on. I was like, this is like your badass, sleepy bear, Nazi, techie guy. I've
Auf einem Business-Kongress zum Thema
Is there better
vom Internet zum Internet. Das heißt also,
not to the side.
Yeah.
That first one there.
die ganze
Yeah,
Thematik
that's
dreht
the
sich
one I'm
darum,
playing
Oh,
dass
okay,
das
the change.
Internet unsere des Anwenders.
Die
Okay.
Gefahr ist natürlich, dass
Okay.
unser
Right off the bat, like
sozusagen
Mitch was saying, the
elektronische,
shy
äh,
I
mouth.
could see the mouth. It's just so shy. I couldn't bring myself to guess Naishi, but I didn't.
alleine schon durch
But
I was
it's not
seeing the
traveling.
watchful eyes.
Parameter,
And
Wasserverbrauch und was da nicht alles
And there's a right there. He still has a lot of Z on it. The delight he has in the Z.
Yeah, but his eyes are wah wah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're
Sei
right.
es nur bei Versicherungen, sei es nur
He
bei
reminds me of there's so stand comedians he covers me on too.
interessierten Spielern im Marketinggewerbe.
I see a lot of scientists riffing this way.
Interesting.
I
I hope
think
there's nice
a lot of
scientists
scientists
out there.
like this.
Ja, Marketingmaßnahmen zu
Doesn't
bauen,
travel much in the mouth at all.
die nicht möglicherweise
Yeah.
meiner vermeintlichen
But you see definitely the lower lip has more energy.
Das würde ja
And there
bedeuten,
he just
dass,
did not, when he shakes his head,
da
like a
einsteht,
shake off,
für
it's a tower
Unternehmen
move.
meine Daten, die ich
Now,
sozusagen den Datenschutz
Mitchell, I'm curious,
überlasse,
what,
für sich nutzen.
what made you think that he was either a directive or subjective?
Annahme ist
What made me think what?
dass
You saw the Z and the shy. Are you able to see now the localized shy?
Yes, to be honest, I wasn't confident on him. I mean, when I said Nijai, it was mostly because, like, I know it's mostly Nijez that tend to be involved in these kinds of things. And I was really between the Naiji and the Nijai, but the Jai and the Z was too obvious for me to guess.
So it sounds like I think you were saying something, you just didn't have familiarity.
Yeah, and I didn't have the familiarity or the confidence to guess Naizi, but
Let's
to be
stay
honest,
for a little while, have everyone kind of take some tags on it, because we don't get to see this very often. It's a nice opportunity. So everyone try to get like, 2 or 3.
I noticed the eyes look pretty intense to me. Like
Definitely.
like his face is like very round and kind of puffy, but his eyes look pretty intense. Like
absolutely.
Completely
Completely agree.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I felt watched by his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that's dissatisfaction also. That's coming up.
Satisfaction, boundary setting, definitely.
But his mouth is like dry.
Das mag alles sein. Die Frage ist aber, müssen
I just see a lot of Z in the way he's talking.
ist vielleicht in einer Form das technische zu
Yeah, he's pretty.
realisieren,
He's momentum.
Yeah.
Very technical, very dry almost. There's a dryness.
Begriffsverwendung am Schluss erfahren.
Provokative Frage, wenn Unternehmen, und wir hören gerade an diesem
Also,
Kongress,
it's going- there's a little bit of a
von der
slinkiness.
Einbeziehung des Kunden
He has got a little
in die
slinky action in his neck.
Produktentwicklung. Ist
Not
das
bobble.
sozusagen die Verführung des Paradies seitens der
There.
Unternehmen, die
Little
Kunden
snort.
zu necken,
Yeah, resonating in the pauses.
um dann doch bloß Daten abzugreifen?
Also, immer wenn Marketingleute das sagen,
But above, you still see like constantly self-possession. He's very self-possessed.
In diesem Kontext nur zielgerichtete Manipulation
You need a very strong, sound argument to get this person to...
verbesserter Persönlichkeit.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like a powerful guy.
Yeah.
Wie die Menschen
He
funktionieren.
thinks
I
it's,
agree.
he thinks
Yes.
it's strong.
Yes. Wow.
denken können. Ich glaube, dass wenn der
And
jetzt
the other thing that made me guess Nijai is he did have like the kind of chubbier cheeks too.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit, which
Oh, that sounds like a very legitimate reason.
that was another thing that kind of put me in that direction.
His eyes are piercing, the drifting.
They are piercing for sure.
Der CCC hat sich ja auf die Fahnen geschrieben, da so ein bisschen massiv auch aufklärerisch zu wirken. Die haben gerade dieses Jahr auf der Ars Electronica, wenn ich mich recht erinnere, die Goldene Nike bekommen, für ihre Arbeit auch. Inwieweit dringt das mittlerweile in das Bewusstsein?
Okay, cool.
Normal,
I think another one that might be interesting to take a look at is, from the optionals, is that Ted Nelson was a severe Zionist.
Oh, I would love to see that. That's the other one I got wrong. Yeah.
When he first came on, I was like, whoa.
Like, I wasn't confident enough to actually guess on him, but that's what I was speculating on, that he might be a Zion. But I also considered Najee as
He
well.
had an odd mouth. I couldn't really guess. I mean, I considered it at first, like looking at the pictures of him, but he was his father was like a real big, like Emmy award-winning director, stuff like that. And so, I mean, we don't see too many Zaini in that, so that kind of swayed me.
Hi, I'm Ted Nelson, coming to you at twilight on the 17th of May, 2015.
So he's an IG. I'm not familiar with this riff. His voice has this sort of calming
It's a little
lilt.
bit like the Dysons or something.
Dyson, yep. And that,
Thousands of people would like to know who
the G seems really localized.
His mouth did stand out a lot to me. I will admit that.
And despite his overall severity, he has these dance. The eyes have that kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like his videos all seemed really calming to me.
virtual currency, I call it.
Like
He's
I was
kind of like a
really
speculative
relaxed, just,
philosopher.
Like gold, Bitcoin has no central component. Like gold, anyone can recognize it and test
I can
it.
tell from this video,
Like
like a common thing.
gold,
And he's kind of
has
swaying.
limited supply.
Yeah, like a back and forth sway.
Way.
Bitcoin.
Very gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah, even as severe as I don't really get the kind of impatience that sort of comes off the IG.
It has a multi-level cryptographic system. It has structures
He'd make a great Doctor Who.
users and builders and operators that work up and
Yeah,
down. It even
I
has
could see that.
multi-party transactions. And 5 years down the line,
However,
it's
so-
extremely well.
No, I perked up.
As many know, Bitcoin was created by an anonymous individual or individuals who, like the Lone Ranger, had made
Those deep
And that was full mental. When he swayed back, his eyes perked up. He was like, I'm in.
He's got a nice like hypno swivel sort of thing.
Yes.
Like he's in all his powers.
Like everyone else, I refer to him familiarly as Satoshi, what we call an inch. His first
Even when he comes forward, kind of reminds me of Demas. How Demas will sway, and he'll come in, and he'll actually get quite close to the camera. But it's sort of like the cadence of it, though, still kind of shows the tower quality. Even though he doesn't choose, like he like sways quite close to the camera. He's like
Comes in sideways a little bit.
sideways, and it kind of like slows, like a ship coming.
Like a languid sort of sweat. Feels really weird to do it as an IG. We just kind of.
First real Bitcoin purchase was a pizza for 10,000
This back.
Bitcoin. What a pizza
You'd
it
make a
must
good
have
rich
been.
guy.
That pizza
Indeed.
Because he has that kind of
100
energy.
Usually with other, he can be pretty intense.
Yeah.
There's one where he's talking about like the future. It was like it's not.
Be interesting if you get video of his father.
What's that?
It'd be interesting if you get video of his father, because that'd be pretty unique as well.
Oh, sure.
Ralph Nelson.
Yeah. So I'll keep. You know, it is unusual to have that his dad is a film director, but
And an award-winning one.
I still keep seeing Zaini. The cadence, the swaying, the G does not go out of that lip area. And his eyes. Right.
Yeah.
I feel a special kinship to him.
He said drop.
Range of capabilities, no, I am not sufficient.
Cool.
But I
All right, so we have, I think, a little more time left. something that might be good to do is to take a look at Bruno's video, because that was something that's updated recently.
Oh, I would love to.
It's interesting.
We interact a lot on the web, so kind of cool doing. He was nice enough, which is why it's possible to post the video that I used to do the new read.
That's very helpful.
Yeah, it is. So where would that be?
Someone posted on Facebook?
Is that the same one? If
Someone
it
posted a
is,
video on Facebook. I haven't watched it, but
I know he sent
yeah,
it.
I watched it. It was very telling. I really enjoyed it.
Let's see. Here we go.
Look forward to
someone posted
chatting with
something.
him a
I
lot
think it was
more.
Gabe.
For sure.
I mean, that's gonna
There it
need
is.
to happen. I can't wait.
So having just advanced more, and I think all of you experience too, because we've been doing it in these hangouts, is we've been doing a lot of music artists, and I think seeing all those Nijan music artists really kind of helped me see them. And the more I kept seeing, as I was doing the music stuff,
Right,
I kept looking at Bruno's picture, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But you guys saw, I actually read Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye's still an IG.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
I
me.
mean, I see tons of Gumby right there.
Yup.
I just see Gumby.
Yeah, he has the Nijan cheeks.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it.
Right away, they're like,
I must have been about 6, maybe
Man, I can't wait to talk to him about all this stuff.
I know, right?
really young. And I remember being drawn to the cover of it, which was like this picture of Eddie, who's a
Eddie,
mascot.
yeah.
He's like this kind of like zombie dude. And he's like,
Does those gestures
he's like, I don't know, he's in
Yeah.
some sort of
Get
alien
that
creature.
rolling.
And,
Yeah.
you know, they're like giants, like Godzilla style. And,
I'm very curious what made you think Naiji to start with. But then again, there was,
Not now, but like back in the day, I had a lot more stretches on me. I was not as trained as I am now, and I had not seen as many.
Yeah.
yeah, and we had lots of music artists and actors that were actually Nijai or pegged as Naiji, so you might have riffed.
And
Conscious.
something else, just to be honest, is that different read requests I get different times. I've not always going to spend as much time as I would like them. In fact, that's one thing I've been thinking on, is that as a kind of protocol, as I get further along, I would try to keep to where I'm doing Mojo readings for the big pop culture public case studies, or people who are involved in Pod Lair, because people who aren't involved yet, it's hard for me to be interested in them, so that's something I'll be more aware of in the future as well. So I'm really glad that he actually hung around, and I was able to actually come back and get this reading. But no, you're right, Infinity. Like now, I'm looking at it now, it's like no. And to be honest, something else too is also fear. Is like once I actually made the call, I was like, you know what I mean? When I was trying to see what it is, I'm like looking at him. It sounds like once I actually just said he's an Nijai and made that public, I was able to like relax. But like before, like the fact that I'd already called him as an IG was like weighing on me. So. But now, like, it's like right in my face. But that's the joy of the data, and that's why what we're doing is real, because we need to actually get this to like where it can be tracked as like a mathematical phenomenon. So the only way that's going to work is that we have to put together the cleanest lists possible. And so for that to happen, Bruno, Nijai, that's Gumby, Pavel.
welcome.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Welcome. I can't wait to talk to you.
It's awesome.
You know, that song.
Yeah, on the resonating seat.
I could picture going to Guitar Center or something with him and just chatting for hours and hours about just all types of these
No,
things.
his energy is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite metal band is probably Megadeth.
Yeah.
Of the 90s. Just
There's a
because
lot of them.
it's so like he's just like he's like a like he's like chains. It's the definition of chains off to me in my mind. Like he has this like high pitched nasal squealing voice, just like Billy Corgan from the punk bands. But it doesn't matter because he growls to it like this.
Yeah, but he's doing the warm gummy the whole time.
basically going to destroy. I don't know. It's just so like primal, and I don't think Dave Mustaine has been read, but I would personally be surprised if he's not an actual like Roy Corgan.
Also, he's also looser here than he was originally.
Well, yeah, he's probably more familiar with us, more comfortable.
Yeah.
Energy, intensity, velocity.
I'm sure that happened to all of us. Like our first feed request video was like a lot more like uptake.
Yeah, so getting back
I
to.
remember mine was like really, really scripted.
Yeah, I always recall strands like electronic rock music over here. And there was all the other ambient music that we hear, you know, people playing like in my house.
Are we good then?
My parents.
Is there any other sort of quiz that we want to do, or should we get into the live reads?
I actually, there's one other one I got wrong. You guys got right, but I got Phil Moriarty wrong.
Yeah, physicist.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
I was just confused. Like, because I originally speculated Najee, but I think maybe like the size of like the wideness of his face and like the perk ups
I know what you mean.
kind of threw me off a little bit.
I know what you mean.
Sci-fi. Kind of remind me of Richard Gere.
He had one video though. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's this one where he was explaining something that Multirational posted, and it was so dissatisfaction. He was like bringing out balls and like throwing them and.
Oh, okay.
And like pushing them against each other. He was getting so passionate about.
Guys, what is Mojo? What's
the quantum physics?
And he's a Najee.
There's another one also on quantum physics woo where he kind of like passionately dismantles.
Right there.
That's G.
That's G. You know what I'm saying? Physics, y'all.
Yeah, and that looks like satisfaction.
Very much so.
So it gets a little hypno-swizzly.
Makes really pumped up, you know.
Yeah, he gets very pumped up.
Yeah, and that seems more like directive.
Yeah, and like
Very, like jutting forward.
Percussive jutting.
Yeah, like native jutting, like G.
Yeah, they're like, and his eyes have this cunning quality, especially like when he's trying to make his point. They're always.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There.
He's lots those juts, those G's juts.
Yeah, he'll like lock and low, like turn sideways and then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is monologuing.
The way he's moving, yeah, it sounds.
He does
like
a lot of this. He does a lot of this, like giving his opinion on the ongoings and being dissatisfied with the way people are doing things.
Yeah, a lot of satisfaction there.
Can I get you real quick with that other thing?
No. How do you feel about him, Ben?
Yeah, I'm starting to really pick up on the monologuing aspect. He's like, he's very like.
Opinionated too.
Yeah, he's very opinionated, and he's like building on like the same story in a way that sounds like it's coming from his worldview, as opposed to being like a Alpha, for
I would
example.
highly recommend watching the videos that Multirational provided they were to the best of the bottom two.
We're good then?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Alrighty, then we'll go on to Act 3, the live read. This will also come from multi-rational. Charlene?
Okay. Our live sample today is Tom Scott. He's a linguistics something and YouTube vlogger.
Interesting.
Tom Scott.
Tom Scott.
Linguistics.
Linguistics.
Linguistics vlog isn't that common.
What did I get here when I put in?
I haven't seen these. You just type in that guy in like YouTube it comes up.
That's what I'm putting in. But it
like,
seems like
I mean,
Tom
the
Scott
real-
is a pretty regular
I'm
name.
getting a pretty wide range of people on
Looks
the
like a character.
photos.
It seems like it would be him. So let's see. It seems
Last year,
nuances
the
of
Associated
language.
Press sent out this
In viewing language, there we go.
Yeah.
Now I was working in the newspaper's office that week.
Right off the bat, to me, he riffs like, what's his name? Jerry Faustino, the guy from Married with Children. I don't know if that makes any difference.
The leanness of his body, yeah.
Unreal.
And I can see
Is what the Associated Press actually
some
sent out.
David
resemblance.
Faustino.
He has long
Carrying
digits.
bodies like
Bud Bundy.
French, comma, Latin, Now there were many.
I feel like I see a thickness
Not
to
least,
this too.
plain bandit on event. Not great. But also a great example of how people. The result is called after this particular years ago. Ambiguity is when you have a word or sentence that can mean two different things. All language, except some incredibly pedantic construction words, have ambiguity. Now we'll set aside for a moment pragmatic ambiguity, which is when you raise your hand in class and say, "Oh, can I go to the toilet?" And some smart answer teacher replies, "Oh, I don't know, can you?" Leaving that aside, English has scopal, lexical, and structural ambiguity. Scopal ambiguity is when you have two or more component words in a sentence, and the order in which they're applied is clear. Everybody loves someone is the canonical example. It can mean that for every person, there is someone that they love. Or it can mean that there's a single
I
person.
even see, believe it or not, a riff of Mitchell. I don't know if I'm right about this or not.
Lexical ambiguity is when you've got a word
What was that
can mean
indicating?
multiple
Which one did you say?
I'm seeing a bit of a riff of Mitchell.
Wouldn't be the first person that someone riffed off me and I didn't see it myself.
I don't know though.
Last time that happened on this Marco Polo quiz, some Naishi players were doing
That's not yours.
Yeah, yeah.
That changes me also changes. That's the most
I'm seeing it in the eyes.
Which is what we started
Eyes and eyebrows.
I don't know, it kind of reminds me of G delivery.
Let's take that out.
Not convinced.
Okay.
G delivery.
Let's dive into this.
Okay?
American, you might actually have been taught how to do this in schools. This
Do we have
shows you
actual
how
interview
to
footage?
I presume with the headline.
Because he's doing a very
Like,
persuasive style.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see.
well, there are eye tracking studies. Watching how people read and reread a sentence.
Alright. He doesn't really have an interview per se, but
Let's,
I think maybe
something that's a little
close.
more off the cuff.
Buffer exploits are one of the basic bugs of modern computer
There we
science.
go.
They are responsible for glitches in games. They are responsible for all sorts of viruses and exploits, and they're also responsible for some major technical disasters. And the last 48 hours, as I record this, we've had one of those major disasters, Heartbleed, which is, well, at its heart, it's a buffer exploit. So let me try and explain what that is, and the technical
say
folks
it's
will perhaps cringe at how
Yeah.
much I'm oversimplifying this, but for the
They
non-technical,
Occasionally does these like really quick, tight squints, sort of.
this is how it works. And first of all, don't worry, if you're using a high-level language like JavaScript or something like that, you
Once
don't
again,
need
but
to
it just,
handle
Yeah.
but still, it just hangs.
Yeah.
I remember it doesn't go in, you know.
But if you work in C,
Yeah.
in Fortran,
He
something
seems very. His articulation seems you know, it seems like he's doing a lot of articulation.
Yeah, and it seems
program.
easy, relatively easy.
Some sort of program.
And I'm definitely leaning more towards directive so far, but
Snarly.
This might be any kind of data coming in, but let's say it's just a string, just some text coming in. And that string is meant to be a certain length. So that program has set aside a certain amount of memory for it, just here, inside it. Only what comes in is not what it expects. What comes in is a much longer, or even maybe just slightly longer, bit of text than is being expected. So instead of this, we have this, a little bit more. And what happens is that rather
that
like a
actor
treasure
who is the boy
plowing through
in
its buttons
Sixth
at the end of the platform and
Oh,
screaming
Joel
to the station,
the Osmond?
it's going to do some damage.
Joel the
It will
Osmond.
will take
continue
you the authority.
Yeah.
straight into memory.
That's the name of the
And that is a button.
child, the
Yeah.
kid, right?
And that's
He was
it.
an assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A malfunction in the program when it
Yeah,
looks
the-
through it and finds nothing.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, like sort of
Whatever,
those-
just stuff like it.
Right,
But
I
if
either
you're a
night
clever
she-
attacker, if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're targeting, then you can craft a much longer string just here that
Joel
contains
the
all
Osmond.
sorts of instructions, all sorts of code. If you know what that program is going to look for next, you can just keep on writing into that program and put your own instructions on it. That's a basic buffer overflow. Now, last 48 hours or so, the same we have Harp, and that is a vulnerability in OpenSSL. OpenSSL is the open source code that handles about, let's say about half, two-thirds, certainly a very large proportion of the world's secured web traffic. The stuff that goes between you and online banks, or you and
gesturing also seems more directive to me.
Yeah, it seems
I agree with that.
confidence, like in a like Yangness intense.
Yeah, like he's very confident, very forward. He's like, you know,
I see close to nothing that's pointing out
it
at
doesn't
that.
really look like he's modulating as he's like really pushing out his voice into the environment. I mean,
Yeah. A lot of confidence there.
And it's talking to a server over here.
And I seem to see, you know, something different going on in his eyes than the rest of the face.
The heartbeat
So like
yeah,
is
I can see that.
it's basically goes back and forth between the two. And the heartbeat command works like this. I send some data, and the
Yeah, the
server
more
sends
into it
back.
gets, the
So I
more
say,
percussive
here
he
is the
gets.
word heart.
Yeah.
That thing where it
And the server does.
Yeah.
really far into that.
Yeah,
What I send is
agreed.
word heart. It is 5 bytes long. Please send those 5 bytes back to you. And the server does that. It receives them and it sends them straight back. But the trouble is, with this particular version of OpenSSL, if you said, here is the word heart, it is 64,000 characters long. Well, OpenSSL isn't going to check that that's the same. Instead, it's going to open up a little buffer, put the word heart in there, and then it's going to send you back whatever else it can find. It's just going to keep reading from that buffer, despite the fact the buffer is ended. It is going to read 64K of whatever it is thinking at that moment, and it's going to send it back to you. And that's dangerous, because that 64K could include some very private data indeed. It could include session tokens, which let you impersonate other users on the website, or it could include private keys, the big cryptographic numbers that say that this server is who it claims to be. If you get their private keys, you can impersonate them. You can impersonate whoever this server happens to be, Google, government, online bank. Get those numbers, hold them out of memory by luck.
It kind of sounds like he's like,
Very clever.
it sounds a bit more like G to me.
Yeah.
Like
That,
I see your point.
It's unpacked.
yeah.
Yeah. They seem
I see that.
like
with-
articulation is
like kind of an
like
explosion,
Trying to make sure
explosive
that their
style.
version is the new, up-to-date.
Yeah.
Has those like
So
volcanic
that's a
explosions
buffer
that
overflow,
you
or
tend to
buffer
see with
underflow in this case.
Yeah.
But one final thought, if you want to be paranoid, and I want to stress, I'm not paranoid about this, I'm a firm believer in cock-up or conspiracy, but if you want to be paranoid, just have a think. That bug went on face 1 to 2 years.
I haven't seen a little bit of that pucker.
Just
Of who?
and has been quietly.
The G pucker.
Oh, okay.
Or if you want to get really
Yeah.
paranoid, and again, I stress, I don't. If you want to get
yeah, this looks like impassioned persuasion to me. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that smile at the end there, that was...
Yeah, it looked like it was going to cheat.
Yeah, and are you seeing like need a light or anything like that? I mean,
Do we want to watch one more interview? Or are you ready to guess?
I feel actually ready to guess, but let's.
I might like look at pictures just to make sure there's nothing that
Alright, well I'll put a video on while we're looking at pictures as well.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a great idea.
Cool.
There's a new security bug in the news. It is called Shell Shock. Everyone is having a bit of a panic about it, and no tech journalists are trying to actually explain it to the public. Which isn't surprising because it's not the easiest thing to explain. We don't. In the beginning of the command line. The command line is a way to give a computer instructions using text instead of clicking or tapping. It's like having a text message conversation with your computer. So I can issue a command to say, move this file here, or list what's running on this system, or change my password, and it will do it. Of course, it's incredibly literal-minded, and while there are some safeguards built in, it is worth remembering that the command will delete absolutely everything, everywhere on this computer, yes, I'm absolutely sure, is only 8 characters long. It isn't just a call and response thing either. You can write programs for this. You can use variables. So you can say, hey, remember, in future, when I type X, I actually mean this really long and complicated thing that I'm pushing inside. Okay? And it'll say, yeah, okay. And later on, you can just type X. That is where the bug is. Everything inside those blocks you see on screen should be treated as simple text. Never, ever, ever as a command. Now that way you can pass it outside your code without anything like just treating text. But in one of the most popular command line interfaces out there, Bash, if you type a certain string of characters in the start of a variable, it trips up and it starts treating it as a command line instruction instead. Okay, that's a bug. But if you have to get someone to type a physical command in, that is not exactly the best export in the world. The trouble is, you don't have to get someone to type. Because the command line is also a way for different programs to talk to each other. Unix, the operating system that is the inspiration. What a lot of these modern servers run is based on the idea that rather than trying to rewrite code all the time, programs should just form other simpler programs. If you need to search for a file for a certain word, you don't write the code to do that yourself. It's been done for you. The best probably, your own program uses the command line quietly in the background, and then looks at the output that it gets sent back quietly in the background. Never appears on screen, never the text, but it is handled by the same shell, usually Bash. See where we're going? Because the program that serves your web page will use that Bash command line sometimes talk to other smaller programs. Badly written web apps, probably things written in PHP, or language, will use the command line sometimes. It's really bad form, but they will. Embedded systems, things like routers, maybe even small smart home devices, they might just use the Bash command line because I trust it to be safe.
I think I know.
But if the input and output, the things from random values, they're sacred to you, if they've been maliciously crafted to include that special string of characters, oh dear. Any person out there on the web might suddenly be able to run very dangerous command on your website. You have what is known as remote code execution, or something with a zero. You can almost certainly crash servers with that. You can probably do much worse damage. By the time this video goes out, I'll be very surprised if someone hasn't crafted a clever, self-replicating attack that is happening going around the world. And the really bad news, that bug has been sitting unnoticed in Bash for about 25 years. There is a hell of a lot of patching. So, that's how it works. The lesson for the end user: make sure you keep your computer and any servers you run up to date with patches and security fixes. There's not much you can do about bugs like this, but you can try and keep it up to date. And as for those of you writing code that is down near the method, let's say code that actually be affected by stuff like this, well, all I can say is I really hope you are not taking your security advice from some guy on YouTube.
Okay, I'll go around. guys can tell me what your guesses are. Start with Ewan, maybe. Where did
Number 1, Naiji. Number 2. Let's leave it as Naiji.
Okay. How about you, Ben?
I'm gonna go with the same thing. I'm just gonna guess Naji.
Me too.
Naiji.
Me, 5.
He's IG.
Yay! Go team!
Awesome.
Did anyone see this Mitchell connection that I'm talking about, or is it just me that saw?
I think I might see it
High five.
perhaps on the way he delivers things. He has a very good way of kind of like delivering. It's like elegant, but it's got some snap to it. As far as the physiology, though, I think I was seeing what you're talking about more Dave Faustino.
Right.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Okay, cool.
As far as the other one, we talk physiologically, I don't really see it as much, but perhaps some of just the teaching or.
I think that's what I was kind of aiming at, more of the teaching style.
Gotcha. But yeah. Okay, so that's good for tonight. We'll go ahead and sign off here in a second. I want to have everyone stay on for a few minutes afterwards, just to talk with some real quick about next week's temples. Okay. So go ahead and sign off. Bye, world. We'll see you next week.
Bye, world.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.